Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing She-Hulk, the finale. Whose show is this?
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I'm Jeff Randall.
And I'm Catherine Ray.
What is going on, my friends?
We're here. We've reached the end of the road.
The end of the road. Full spoiler alert. We're going to get right into this.
My only non-spoiler is yo. Other than that, I'm ready to go.
my cool. Main non-spoiler is just like joy. I just feel lots of joy after that episode. I could not, in my instant reaction, it was just me like laughing, basically. I had no analysis. I was just like, I can't believe they did that. I really can't. I mean, I've even heard people talk about like some of the crazy stuff she's done in comics that's similar to that, where she goes and like tells the writers what's what or whatever. But like, I didn't think they would end this show that way. You know, it's just so cool. And on top of that, to get so meta with Kevin being a bot that is designed for interconnectivity. And did you see the hat on Kevin?
Yep.
It was just absolutely a Kevin Feige hat framing Kevin's face.
Yep.
It's so good.
We're now in spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, totally. Oh my god, the Kevin bot. I was already like, couldn't even believe what was happening. And then the door opens and it's an AI bot named Kevin. I was just like, this is insane what this show is doing right now.
Yeah.
They got me so good with that, like the Disney Plus, like.
Me too. I picked my remote. I was like, oh, well, gosh.
Yeah,
shut down on
the
me.
menu pops up and I'm like, did I roll over onto the remote or something? Like, I was about to, and I watched it a second time and it wasn't even that long a
No, it
time.
Wasn't. They even did the noise though that sometimes it makes when it like messes up and goes back to the menu. It's like, don't, and like goes back to the, I was like, oh.
I was like, oh God, what happened?
It got me so good.
And I was like, and I think from that, when she was like, you think this is gonna stop me? I was like, what the hell is going on? What is this? And then like, as that sequence is happening, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was very confused the whole time. And I like, that confusion went through the end of the episode. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I mean, I loved it. After the second watch, I was like, okay. I get it. That is very, I like it. I like that. But after the first watch, I was like, what just happened? I was very confused.
I mean, it's still kind of what just happened. I said this is a mistake. I think like it's worth it because this is such a great experience of a show, but it does undercut the idea of like, what is the MCU and like, what is going on? And like, even the fact that she like, we experienced a version of events that did not happen. She says delete blood plotline, not just delete like Todd gets the blood, but delete blood plotline. So like we have to go back 4 episodes and remove scenes from there too. You know, like remove that text to Hulk King or whatever. Like it's all like it's
Does
weird.
That remove Josh or no?
I don't think because we still need Josh to like, you know, do the sex tape and like drive her nuts so she like has that reaction and everything. But like, yeah, it's no good. It's kind of wild.
Like we're trimming around Josh just to take out the blood plot.
Deleted the blood plot line. That's what Kevin does. And then we saw Todd turn into a Hulk, like bro Hulk, which was pretty great. Like full on bro. I love it. Come at me, bro.
And he was so gross looking as Hulk.
Yep.
Like
he really
Hulk
was.
Form, like it was, it was not a good look, Todd. Not a good look. Like his wrists were way too meaty in weird ways. Like I didn't like it.
He was a very strange looking Hulk. I will say though, the CGI on him was great. Was absolutely wonderful. And I was like, I think it must be a thing where they're like they're willing to go a little more like whatever monster looking with the male characters. And with Tatiana, they've tried to make her look more feminine, which has given us this weird sort of
It's the uncanny valley.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Uncanny valley situation. What did you think, Catherine, when Kevin straight up asked her to wait till the camera wasn't on her to transition?
I was howling the whole intro to it of being like, you need to change back into Jen. And she's like, why? Like, you're expensive. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, again, literally everything they were doing, my mind was just like blown for like most of this finale. That kind of stuff was just so. And then at the end, when she was like, so what's the best way for me to transition? What's the most like cost effective way?
Yeah, what's the most budget friendly way to do this?
Yeah, oh my God.
And then it just
so
cut.
Funny.
It was so good because it just cuts. Like, what's the most cost effective way to do this? And then it's just like, oh, we're not going to do any like menu hopping anymore. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to like jump cut to inside the episode. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Cool.
It's so good. I love it. I love it
like,
so much.
I want it to be like an in-universe portal that she has to hop through, and I'm like, I'm trying to headcanon it, and it's just like not working. I'm like, Well,
that's the thing is like the show kind of breaks itself in that like it literally different things happen in one version than the other, and things change. Things are rewritten on the fly. Hulk comes back twice. Like it's just all very strange, but it's just like I guess you just have to. I don't know. You just have to ride with it. But all of that stuff. It kind of hurts my brain a little bit. Like the canon lover of me is like, no, which thing happened?
Yeah, all of it happened, Matt. It's all valid.
The version of me that loves just like breaking a storytelling mold and doing something totally new and different. It was just howling and just loving it.
The fan of meta, like the fan of being meta in me is just like, this was so great. Like it didn't just like do nods to itself. It literally talked about itself in that moment of like, okay, there's things that have to happen in superhero shows. And she's like, no, we don't have to do that.
You know how everyone says that Marvel movies all end the same?
Yeah.
Who's saying that?
Yeah. Who's saying that?
Oh my God.
Like,
Kevin having that line was so funny. Well, so Matt, what you just said reminds me of the like there are two wolves inside of you, and one wolf loves headcanon and one wolf loves when you break out of storytelling
conventions.
So which wolf inside you is winning right now?
100%. The breaking conventions wolf is into it. I'm feeding it today. It was so much fun. I was just howling the entire time. And like, I can understand some people feeling the opposite, like the other wolf winning and being like, it's too far. It breaks the MCU a little bit. Like now we know there's this like weird Kevin bot outside the story, writing the story, but I don't know. Like this whole show has been kind of about like, don't take it too seriously. And
that's what I really think the messaging is. And that's totally, I feel like I kind of turned a corner as a viewer of like, kind of, I started worrying, I think, about MCU canon. And then I was like, you know what? Honestly, I'm just going to enjoy this show for what it is. And this was like the incredibly way bigger than I could have thought culmination of that in this episode, where you're right, she's literally breaking out of menus on Disney Plus to like jump in and like gain and like I honestly didn't even bat an eyelash. I was just like, this is incredible. I'm having so much fun. I honestly think it was kind of a message. I took it as a message to like just relax and like enjoy these things, and you don't have to worry about all of this other stuff. Like you can actually just enjoy this for what it is right now and not be thinking about stuff before or after. Like which version of things happened? Like, does it really matter? I don't actually think so. They both happened. We watched them both.
Yep.
Yeah. Like both happened on screen. There it is.
Well, and what I love even more though is the point of the whole thing was all of that for sure. But also it was looking at the idea of the big like calamity of an ending where there are 4 Hulks in the room and they're all going at it, and then going like, no, that's not what my story's about. Why do you have to do this? This was like directly calling out all of the other shows and movies for being like, all right, let's have a big CGI fight. Yeah. No, she just like, they Titania shows up and she's like, why is Titania here? Like, she's
And
like,
then Nikki's like, does she ever use a door?
isn't this messy enough? Like,
Yeah.
it's just so good. And then all of that, why, Bruce? You came from space? Like, what the? And then all of
From
that's going on.
literal outer space.
It's so, and earlier in the episode, when she's laying on the bed and she's like, do you want this? Is this the show you want? And then she's like, we're not going to the narrator. We are not that off the rails.
Yeah.
And then it gets so off the rails for her that she's like, no, I am breaking out of the show. I am leaving the show and going into Marvel's Assembled, which was also amazing.
Well, it's really funny. She picked the Assembled for Shang-Chi.
Oh, funny.
Like she was hanging off of the Shang-Chi icon or whatever, the icon for that show, and I was like, she's gonna comment about how hot Simu is. I know it. And then she didn't, and I was like, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, she only has eyes for Matt Murdock right now. That's why.
That's fair.
Her being
Loved
She's like, I smash fourth walls, bad endings, and sometimes Matt Murdock. And I was like, get it.
yes, it was so good. I just Tatiana delivered those lines so well. And the other line that like really stood out to me as a Tatiana delivery moment was and when are we getting the X-Men? Like she stuck her tongue out and like looked at us, looked directly at the
Well,
camera.
she did the thumbs
And
up
when
at
are
the
we getting an
camera.
X-Men movie. Oh my god.
She
good.
She looked at the camera, gave us the thumbs up and the little tongue out. I was like, she's one of us.
Yep.
Like,
Oh my God.
So good.
yes.
This felt like so fan servicey and also like a kind of like funny middle finger also to fans, like
Yeah.
in like
100%.
a really I took it as a very endearing way, but I know a lot of people are not going to, but this was really just like the cherry on top of the back half of She-Hulk for me. I'm so pleased with this ending. You know how I've been nervous about things because I think a lot of the Disney Plus shows have not stuck their endings, and today I watched an MCU thing that literally made fun of the endings of things and was like, we don't have to do it like that, and then did a whole nother thing, and here I am like giddy about it.
Yeah.
I like that she still had a little bit of a little bit of just a fight with people. Like when she was in the hallway at MCU headquarters or whatever, she got her hallway fight. I was like, this feels very...
No, she got her straight up Black Widow hallway fight.
Yeah, I was like, this feels very Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
Yes, it was a white hallway. They show her through the security cameras, which is directly from Iron Man, Iron Man 2. They do the fight, and then after she walks out of the room, they're all trying to get up, just like in Iron Man 2. Like, it's exactly a reference to Black Widow. I loved that. Oh.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that, but that makes me love it so much more.
Yep, I love it.
And was it, if I'm recalling correctly, wasn't it a oneer? I think.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. It was not formulated like most of those. I don't think. I'm pretty certain.
No,
but
I mean, Black Widow's
There's
wasn't
a
a
cuts in
oneer
there.
either.
Never
The
mind.
one in Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
I guess that's the only.
that's more of
thing
a
that could have made it better.
Deadpool. That's more of a Daredevil thing.
Oh,
There were so many obscenely and insanely huge
insanely obscene
things for the MCU that happened in this. Like, I mean, Scar is a thing now.
Scar's a
MCU
thing.
proper. Scar is a thing.
I can't believe they brought that out. I saw somebody on the group chat saying like, that is not how they should have introduced Scar. And I was like, I mean, I guess it just depends on what they want to do with it. But like, it was a bold move to just be like, he's here now. Here he is.
yeah. Here's this.
It also makes me smile because that's Hulk's family. We've gotten to know that family through She-Hulk, and now maybe Banner could go home like during the movies and like hang out with his family, and that's his family. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be great. Ooh, there's one other thing that I wanted to mention that I absolutely loved in the Kevin discussion. When he was saying, like, you need to change back, and she's like, why? He's like, you're very expensive. There was a little add-on. He said, and the visual effects team has moved on to another project. And then the music for Black Panther, like the...
Oh,
happened
did it really? Oh,
right
that's
then,
fun.
yeah. It was
That's
just
fun.
a little bit of the drums, and I was like,
Another musical cue that I loved was when Daredevil dropped out of the sky and they played his little
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, his little Daredevil music. It's the most comedic that music has ever felt because he like dropped out of nowhere, like out of a tree or something.
Like
did like a superhero landing on the ground. Yeah, in full costume. Which the costume looks ridiculous in daylight.
It does.
It really does.
Full daylight, drops out of nowhere, and then ding 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 ding. I was like, oh, that's so good.
And then he's like, I'm here to help. And she's like, dude, you missed it. And he's like, all of it? Aw.
Everything?
Okay, also like
downtrodden.
this show like made me laugh so much, but it also got me in my feels. That whole montage in the beginning. Well, also the nightmare montage was hilarious. The like before the whole like with all the retro Hulk footage and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
That was hilarious, that nightmare sequence.
Well, it's hilarious, but it's also like, I don't know if you noticed a direct, like almost shot for shot remake of the 70s Hulk show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's
like what sweet
so
homage.
It's so good. I loved it.
But then that whole montage in the beginning of like her life falling apart after the tape came out, I was just like, oh no, not Jen. Anyone but Jen.
Yeah. Like, of all the people, I was like, I was very worried for her and the ending, honestly, at the beginning or like right after that sequence happened when she woke up in the fridge, basically in Blonsky's cell, from what it looked like. And I was like, oh no, they're going to have to do too much to get out of this. This is bad.
Yeah. How can we wrap this up in 30 minutes or whatever?
Yeah, like this is a whole other, like this is what season 2 should be about.
Right. And she just goes and tells the writers to fix it.
Oh my God. In that writer's room when the guy was like, okay, the whole second half of the season is a dream sequence. Laughed out loud.
So funny.
Laughed out loud.
And I love that the other writers are like, yeah, that's great. I love that.
One thing I had a thought about with her powers. So in some forms of the comics, part of her powers are that she can break the fourth wall. Like that's part of, at least in some versions of Deadpool, and I think some versions of She-Hulk. Like that's sort of like stated as like a part of the powers, is that they have this meta analysis of everything. In this, she's right before she jumps out of the whatever into the menu, she says, all right, let me remove this inhibitor. And then she jumps out of the thing. And it made me wonder if the inhibitor was somehow keeping her from doing that. And then she shows up in the writer's room and the writers say, I thought she was wearing the inhibitor. And it made me wonder if like the writers were tired of her questioning them, like that's a subplot, and they had given her the inhibitor as part of like, no, we're not going to let you break the fourth wall all the time. Like you can't. It's kind of meta.
She was still breaking the fourth wall in.
She was, yeah. So it doesn't like totally
even with
fit.
The inhibitor.
I agree, but it's weird that she talked about removing the inhibitor before she did the full-on fourth wall break.
That's true. I didn't exactly catch that, but that's interesting.
If only. Missed opportunity. They could have had her not breaking the fourth wall with the inhibitor on.
Yeah, they could have like just changed that just a little bit and then it would have worked. Of course, then you would have had that whole scene where she's like, what is going on? This is not our show. Why are you here? That whole thing wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
I loved when he says, I would kill to protect Kevin.
I would kill you to protect Kevin. That's unhealthy.
He's the writer. He has that power. That's kind of creepy. But also, I love that he says that, and then it turns to her, and she's like, the way you guys talk about him is kind of creepy. And it reminded me of us over here going like, in Feige we trust. Like, I felt like that was another direct call out to us fans.
That's what I'm saying. It was this loving middle finger to fans. It was just
I agree.
So on the nose and hilarious.
I totally agree. It felt like a roast a little bit of.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
The fans.
Yeah, loving middle finger. It's the new name for a roast.
And a roast of the MCU even.
Yeah.
Again, the whole lines about like everything and like you don't have to do the same ending. I was just like, oh my god, are we getting into a literal new era of Marvel stuff where they're going to do things like this?
I hope so.
I think we already have seen them getting into a new era of Marvel where they're doing stuff like this. I mean, WandaVision, like they've done some weird stuff. And Werewolf by Night is one of the biggest examples of that more recently, just being so different than everything else.
Yeah.
I really think they're getting to that point, and this show is just like acknowledging that and doing it in a very, very meta way. And I mean, like, that's what She-Hulk is. It's supposed to be this super meta character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did the weird, like, you know, completely atypical thing for Loki, where like the last episode was just a conversation in a room.
Yeah.
Between three people or among three people.
For sure.
That was incredible to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, like, made your heart swell to watch that. So like the fact that they, you know, can just like the writers can turn around and be like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of the whole like big fight that has to happen. Like, why don't we let's do something else?
Yeah, that doesn't have to happen here. I just, so good.
I started taking notes in the beginning and then I was just having so much fun and just like my jaw was just on the floor for the whole rest of the episode. So I was like, I have nothing written down after this.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I got to watch it without having to take notes, but I got to watch it a third time. That was my note-taking time.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch this one again because it was such a fun little ending to this whole thing.
It's
but yeah,
so
I've only seen it the
rewatchable.
one time.
Someone posted in the chat that they were rewatching She-Hulk in preparation for the finale and just how rewatchable the show is in general. Because it's, and I think comedies are just generally that way, but this is great because it's a comedy, but it has the sort of overarching story that's building and it's part of the MCU. I feel like it's going to be a really rewatchable show.
Yeah.
I love it.
After a little bit of credits, you know, in that stinger, we get a little bit of further implication of like, we now have Wong taking Emil in out of prison. Just like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Yeah. He's just not afraid to commit federal crimes, that Wong.
Yeah. He is, I mean, at that point, he's harboring a fugitive. A super-powered fugitive. That's got some implications to it. I don't know what they are, but they're there.
That video of her from college where she's booty dancing with her friends in the dorm room. She was dressed almost exactly like a character from Orphan Black that she plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was wondering if that was an intentional call out to that. I almost wondered if it was from the show because she looked so much like her, like with the like dreads she had in her hair and the glasses. She looked so much like their character from Orphan Black. And then I was like, yeah, I won't say anymore because I'll spoil Orphan Black. I've been for years spoiling Orphan Black.
Yeah, don't, because it's moved really high up my to watch list now that this is over.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, you've got like a month before Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got to get going.
Do we have a month with no Marvel content?
Almost. It's almost a full month.
It's like 3 weeks, right?
Well, no, we've got 4 weeks before the.
Oh no, that's right, because it's
the release.
Okay,
4 weeks from today.
Month.
Yeah.
Phew. Okay, good. I can get some homework done.
I've been putting it off.
God, I can do things again.
Yeah, right. Like, can I have my Thursdays back?
It's only been 30 minutes of content a week, guys. Calm down.
Yeah. 30 minutes. Totes.
Oh, I meant the show itself. But yeah. Let's see. I loved the line where her mom's like, "Can you move the bookshelf?" No. Oh, that's right. You can't be Girl Hulk anymore.
It's She-Hulk.
Oh, and that's when she delivers that line. Is this what you guys want? I was like, no, Tatiana, it's not.
I didn't ask for this.
I don't want this for you.
That whole inhibitor thing, like, that's still just, it kind of perturbs me that, like, right at the beginning, he's like, oh no, I can't do this. This is for me. It was only for me. I can't do one for you. And then, like, nope, he's got it for Emil. He's got one for her. now. They're just everywhere. Like,
Yep.
did he just kind of develop a modular way to do that now?
Someone must have, because
I was going to say, do we assume it's Banner's technology? It could be.
I mean, it looked exactly the same as
Yeah.
what Bruce had on.
he said he couldn't do it that easily, and then and then he left for space. So someone's figured it out. if
maybe
not him.
AIM came and stole it.
Yeah, somebody.
I don't like it. I don't like AIM.
Okay, we got some feedback over here in the chat. Let's run down some feedbacks. People who are tagging us. But we got VB Marvel fan says, "Hey, good to see you guys. The final episode was amazing. Fire.
Fire! Fire!
Thank you,
Kind
VB
of missed
Marvel
the
fan.
chicken blood.
Good to see you too. I kind of miss the chicken blood."
Oh my god,
So
that's
good.
such a funny line.
Sarah says he'll slip chicken blood in it. Kind of miss
Kind of
the
missed the
chicken blood.
chicken blood.
Our good friend Waterfall Angel says, "Who is Jen's grandmother?" Someone said something like she gets her rage from her grandmother. Was it just a throwaway line?
Oh, yeah, that was, no, it wasn't her rage. It was, God, what's his name? The gross guy that she used to work with at the DA's office.
Dennis. Yeah.
Dennis.
She gets her insanity from her grandmother.
Yeah, he's like, she was psycho way before the powers. I blame her grandmother.
What was that about?
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, what is that about, though? Like, what's the grandmother thing?
I had no idea.
Literally no idea.
I don't know either. That's really strange. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was too focused on him being like, yeah, we dated for a significant amount of time. Like,
Oh my god, that was
ugh.
so infuriating.
Did they
You so gross.
did they actually date in the show at any point?
No.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
I just didn't remember if there was some like thing I'm forgetting about, like a single date. But no, that was the guy. When we start the show, she already hates him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
don't
start
know.
the show, she hates him. There was the time that she brought him in as a witness, as a character witness, and
Mm-hmm.
like, or no,
No, they brought
she
her in
was
as a
brought
character
in
witness.
As
Yeah,
a character witness. Sorry, she
To
was brought
say
in as
how
character witness.
delusional he was.
Yeah, to just be like, this is no, like she would not.
Man.
She would not.
I want more of this show. Oh, one of my favorite lines in the whole thing was, "We'll see you in the movies.
No,
And
see
she's
you on
like,
the big screen.
See you on the big screen." And she's like, "Really?" Like,
No.
no. It's so
Did you notice? Did you
so
notice
cold.
the blue
Kevin,
lens
so
was
cold.
The blue lens was looking at her at that point, and like the shutter on it came down. It's like he was squinting at her. She's like, no, like a scowl, the little Kevin scowl.
I just love the robot trolling her. It's just so funny to me. I feel like this show is kind of something the MCU needs. This sort of roasting, this sort of like new life, like kind of questioning itself, questioning directly these problems that the MCU has at times. You know, a lot of people say that about MCU is that like not necessarily that they all end the same, but they all always have to have the big spectacle. And this just not only didn't do it, it just directly questioned it.
Yeah,
Actually, it directly questioned it while still doing it a little bit. You know?
it started to.
But it was just so good, and I am so excited for that tone, and I'm so it gives me hope for other stuff, also not
Mhm.
taking itself so seriously, and I'm really excited to watch more stuff after this.
Yeah, it's this weird balance of I love stuff that can make fun of itself, but I also want Endgame. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be so serious at times where it's like, oh, the world is falling apart, and like I need that. I need the emotions that pull me into that moment to be real, but I also love it to be able to question itself and whatever, take itself down a peg when it needs to.
I really want these comic display pods that Kevin has in his Kevin lair, and the comics that are in them, to be honest. But
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure.
like I'm looking at that scene right now, and I'm just like, oh man, those are really great. Like those are incredible. I need it.
So do we think that the Kevin bot is going to be his spin on the like Stan Lee cameo kind of things?
I feel like it has to be.
What
Because
do you
like
mean?
he's not going to show up in the actual movies himself, right? But like
Right.
to have this AI bot be a character.
Oh, I see.
That feels like a little nod in that direction almost.
This is definitely a nod to Kevin.
It's got the hat.
Yeah.
It's got the hat.
The hat,
Exactly,
which he is absolutely known for.
I love it. VB Marvel fan says there was a ton of Marvel calling itself out through Jen in full self-deprecating fashion. What was your favorite call out moment? Mine was when Kevin asked her to shift to Jen off camera. The thing I love most about that is it makes now every time they did that, you kept calling it out, Catherine. Like, we notice when you don't do that. Like, you were like really angry about it.
Absolutely.
And
a
like,
normal amount of rageful about it, I'd say.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think what's so great is that like now with this line in the last episode, it's absolutely true they were using it to save budget, but it's also like they have been setting that joke up throughout the entire series. So now every time they do it, it's like this beautiful thing is like, yes, it's absolutely saving budget, but it's also letting us know this joke is coming. They did that so that Catherine would complain about it so they could make the joke in the finale and we'd all go, oh, that's so good.
And I laughed so hard at that joke. Because it's true and it's hilarious. And the fact that they're saying it's true and hilarious is the best.
It really is like, I mean, it feels like they like trapped you into a joke. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like they got you to be so upset about a thing and then they're like, oh, right, I shouldn't take it so seriously. Like, it's like so good. I don't know. And I feel that way about, I was talking last week about how I thought he was going to get the blood. Todd was going to get the blood. It's like, it's going to be Todd. He's Hulk King. But why does it matter? I was like, I don't think it matters. It matters what Jen's going on with Jen. And like, I was almost a little annoyed at the fact that they were going to do this big spectacle fight. And then they didn't. They just decided to delete it. Like, it's so good.
Does she actually say the line, whose show is this, out loud? Because I think I missed it if she said it.
I think she may say it, but she says, this is my show. And then Kevin says, no, this is Kevin's show.
Kevin's show.
This is Kevin's show, which was wonderful. And then she's like, well, can we admit that it's a lawyer comedy? And then she's like, well, I would like to give my closing statement. And he's like, ha, 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 very clever.
What you did there. Oh, and so I love when she sits down in the middle of it. Just like she sits down, he's like, oh, you're sitting down. She's like, what's with the daddy issues?
Oh, the daddy issues line was so good.
So funny.
Same daddy, same issues. Star-Lord, two daddies,
two issues. Two issues.
It was just so funny. Everything landed so well.
It really did. Like, everything this show has been, like, it actually makes me wonder. We had all these like rumors and stuff early on in the show about the reshoots and how they reshuffled the show and all this stuff. And I don't know how much that's true, because this feels like it was all very deliberate. Like, a lot of the stuff, even the fact that Titania felt tacked on, was a joke in the last episode. Like, it all ties into this thing. And it made me wonder, like, was the original ending, there's going to be a big fight in the hut? And then they were like, no, this isn't working. What can we do? They're like, I got it. And then they just like because honestly, the reshoots for this ending probably wouldn't have taken near as long as like, because it's just that one, like, it's kind of the ending we were talking about from Loki, where it's like, it's two people talking. One's a robot, but it's two people talking. It's not the big CGI fight.
A man?
I was like, yeah, I was expecting Kevin Feige.
Why wouldn't I expect a man instead of an AI robot?
I knew it was going to be something, because when the writer says I would kill for Kevin or whatever, it's
when they were saying Kevin, it was in the captions, it was KE, like it was
spelled out,
an acronym.
That's the word.
Oh my god, wait, they also made that NDA joke.
Yes.
Oh yes, everybody's got to sign an NDA.
Oh my god, I was cackling.
And I love that, like, it wasn't just like, you agree to not talk about the things that you see here. That's it. It was like scroll, and then sign.
So good.
Yeah.
All of it was so great.
It really is. But to answer VB Marvel fans' question, what was your favorite call out moment? Anything else other than the shift to Jin?
I think the ending is going to be the not always using the same ending.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That just felt like, oh wait, when what was the thing that Kevin goes, who's saying that?
Oh yeah. Like, all Marvel movies in the same, and he's like, wait, who's saying that?
Wait, who's saying
Who's
that?
saying
That just felt like such a hilarious, like, because, you know, sometimes you go to the corners of the internet where people are talking about Marvel stuff, and sometimes it's not great corners, right? They're like people saying bad things. Like, they don't think Kevin Feige is looking at that, right? Like, they like, he's living a wonderful life, totally enjoying everything. He's not like reading your like critique of it, you know what I mean? So that again, this roast, this loving middle finger just felt so hilarious. Like, he's kind of joking with us, right? It's in such good humor, I thought.
I totally agree.
Oh my god.
So I think that was my favorite call out. The same ending.
Yeah.
Thing.
I want to have seen Kevin Feige's reaction to a writer coming up with this ending and being like, so Kevin, I got ideas. I want to have seen his reaction to be like, oh my god, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
going
know, because I wonder if, like, you're right, maybe someone just like came up, like maybe the writer's room just had this and brought it to him and he was like, this is incredible, yes. Or maybe like they pitched it where he was actually going to be in the show and she was going to confront him and he was like, I don't know, I don't want to be in this, turn me into some robot or something. Like, I'm so curious about what the genesis of that part of the script was, because it was hilarious.
What if that was his idea from the start? He's like, she breaks the fourth wall, she's got to come talk to me, make her come talk to me, but make me a robot.
I've always wanted to be a robot. That's really all this was.
I've always wanted to be an AI robot.
He's always wanted to be an AI robot.
Right? That would be hilarious.
I really do want to know. I want to, like, maybe the assembled will give us some insights, but I kind of doubt it. Like, I want to know, like, how this all was planned, because this is so good. It just ended so well.
Oh, I can't wait for the assembled for this.
Yeah, I will be definitely watching that right away.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the same ending thing, but I think just like the entirety of the call out of the idea that like it was supposed to end this way, and it's not, the fact that it's not Jen's show. We always talk about like, even back in Civil War, we were like, they're putting all these characters in a Captain America movie. Is it really going to be a Captain America movie? You know, it was like this, like before we saw it. You know what I mean? And we're like, it's like a worry we often have, and with the shows, it's the same way. It's like, oh, this is about Hawkeye, but in the last episode, let's throw in Kingpin and Yelena, and it's like, oh, is this his show anymore? You know, and I really love that. Like they did this big spectacle moment, and they're like, no, this is Jen's show. Like, that's my favorite call out, and it's really important one for them to understand. And it's great that they said it on screen that they understand it. We'll see if they keep to it. It almost felt a little apologetic for this Phase 4 for some of the mishaps we've seen. Like, I think Phase 4 has been good, but there have been some slight things, like I think the Kingpin and Yelena thing that sort of derails a show in a completely new direction. And I think this was almost like an apology for going like, okay, we see the issues. Like, yeah, it's all nearly perfect.
Oh my god, that's my favorite call out. Is the whole like, I produce near perfect products, and she's like, near perfect, and he's like, some are better than others, but I leave that discussion to the internet.
So good.
And like, my thought was immediately, I was like, oh, near perfect, like you do so good right up until the ending, and then you don't stick that.
Ooh.
Like the rest of it is perfect, but then that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, love that take.
Yeah. Keeping with the feedback, Waterfall Angel says, I really hope those were at least some of the real writers in there. I was wondering about that.
Oh, that, you know, I wonder, with the sense of humor they had to come up with that script, I would hope that that's actually all of them.
I would too.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted you to look at, Jeff, is there's a scene where she first breaks the fourth wall and sneaks in, and they're filming Assembled.
Yeah.
And when she does, she walks in the room and there's a guy being interviewed talking about making the gauntlet.
Yep.
And I was wondering if that was the guy you met who made the gauntlet.
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, I was like, I don't know, but probably not. It's probably not actually him, but that would be kind of amazing if that was their actual props guy who you've met.
Well, that guy was saying they brought me on in the first Thor movie.
Yeah, I know. Which is not what he made the gauntlet for, but still.
Yeah, well, he didn't start working with them. He didn't start working with Marvel until Ragnarok.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's I just still thought it was kind of neat that they were talking about making a gauntlet. I could totally see them like grabbing an actual prop master and having him, or like whatever, and having him do that part. Okay, Hera says, are we going to talk about the callback to the OG TV series? We did a little bit. We did a little bit.
Her nightmare sequence, which is just what a funny way to start the episode.
Yeah,
I just knew we were in. I just knew we were in for a treat.
Mm-hmm. We had seen clips of that circulating the internet like months ago, at least some stills and stuff. And so I think they had that final shot with her and Bruce when she's like, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry," and that was going around the internet.
I love that she says that, and then like Bruce just kind of stands there awkwardly, like just kind of casually looking around or awkwardly looking around, like.
It feels like the awkwardness of a 70s TV show. It's very good.
Right. It just hangs there a little bit too long.
Let's see,
I want to know who was the person in that opening sequence, because that looked like a strong or a bodybuilder, put into She-Hulk makeup or whatever.
Right. Oh, I loved it. I loved the practical She-Hulk.
I was like, is that Lou Ferrigno? Did they dress Lou Ferrigno up in She-Hulk?
They were definitely going for
incredible.
They were definitely going for a Lou Ferrigno reference there, and I loved that. I loved it. I loved it when they cut to her in the same dress, like the sparkly dress, and she's like running out of the ball or whatever. Yep. I loved it. Like, it's funny because that's sort of like how she thinks of herself in that moment, how she thinks the world views her and all that stuff. Because it's her nightmare. Mm-hmm. Spark Sam 85 says, you guys probably already talked about this, but I feel like they zoomed in on a panda on purpose.
Probably.
I don't know if we talked about. Yeah, I think we did. But yeah, no. They definitely zoomed in on a panda. I had to freeze that and like run up to the TV and read all the things around it. Because if they had said anything up there is stranded or some sort of like other reference that would be related to us, I was like, maybe they love us that much. But alas, nothing else fit.
It's the thought that counts.
Right.
Yeah. Indeed. Of course, they did put the panda on the intelligentsia board, so I don't know what that says. I don't love that.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is not the reference I wanted if they were going to reference the pandas.
Yeah. Like, don't lip us in with that crap.
Oh my god, Pug trying to be undercover at that meeting.
Oh, it's so good.
Hilarious.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god, say it like you're angry.
Yeah, and I'm pissed off about it. I love
Nikki and Pug did so good in this episode when the phone died or whatever, and she's like, he's fine, he can improvise. Oh my god, he cannot improvise.
He can't do improv.
I love when she like sent the video to the intelligentsia and then she's like, that was easy. And then she pauses and says, or.
Am I a genius?
Wait, no, because she says like, was that too easy? Isn't that what she says?
No, I think she's like, well, that was easy. And then she like considers, or maybe it was very difficult and I'm just a genius. And like, it's very good. Oh, they mentioned Lady Thor, which puts this after Thor, the new Thor movie.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's the one.
And the comment was that, yeah, she just sucks.
Yeah, she just sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so funny.
It's not because she's a female. It's not because she's a female.
I would have the same critiques if she was a male.
Spoilers for Love and Thunder, but she died at the end of that.
Right, but would they know that? If they've just seen like news reports of a woman.
Well, I don't know.
Being Thor.
That's a good point. It could have happened in the middle of Love and Thunder or before Love and Thunder.
Yeah, like in the time frame between she got the hammer and when Love and Thunder happened and she died.
Mm-hmm. So that was interesting they brought it up because it's like, won't it look suspicious if I'm wearing an earbud? Trust me, you won't be the only one.
You're not going to be the only one.
That cracked me up.
I love when he was just like, come on, Pug, come on, be gross.
And I was like, no, you can't. You're just too much of a feminist ally, my friend.
Mm-hmm. He's the perfect feminist ally. You know what kind of disappointed me? Somebody wrote in a couple weeks ago and were like, everyone's saying there's all these toxic men on the show, but there's a lot of good examples of men too, like Pug and Emil. But then we get Emil this episode just like being paid by the intelligentsia to speak at their little conference and not having any like scruples about it.
He's like, I'm doing this strictly for profit. It's fine. Strictly for profit.
I know we're not supposed to care about this. Like literally that's the point of this episode. But like Todd having the idea that superpowers should go to the ones who deserve them. Like that does really seem like a viable villain like philosophy. You know what I mean? Like yeah, totally viable as like a really good like you guys all got them because of random chance or whatever. Or like let's say if the mutants start showing up, someone could absolutely have that kind of a philosophy and it'd be really good.
I mean, that's kind of the same outlook that Titania had. Where like Titania is like, you didn't even want this. Like,
yeah, it's more about desire, but yeah. Like,
right.
You don't even want this. You didn't fight for it.
She's like, I had the hustle. I have been working for this kind of thing my whole life. And like, you just show up and get it. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a similar outlook. I would think.
Yeah, totally.
I hate to lump in Todd with that. I can't even say the word. the way that Nikki was like, remember, Pug, always refer to women as females, and he was like, because
I can't even tell you, that's like an actual in my head red flag when people use the phrase females. I'm just like, oh my god, you lose points for this. You know that, right? I'm automatically thinking differently about everything else that comes out of your mouth after you say this. So her saying that and again him just having the cutest little reactions to everything was so funny.
Yep.
But yeah, I wanted to call her a female in reference to that, and I was like, oh no, nope.
Red flag, my friend. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Gross.
Yeah, that is like that's one that I think I learned this year that was a thing people don't like. I don't know that I ever did it a lot, but it was like I'd be like, yeah, there's a male and two females or something on the show, and like someone would be like, that's kind of weird. Like that was weird. Like I don't know. It just depends on how you do it.
That feels fine if you're talking about, I don't know, just specifically only the.
It's about intent.
Well, that's what it is. If you're not talking about the entirety of every single female in the world,
females, am I right?
Collective female. That's yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love how the other guys were like, yeah, yes, you are right.
We are so vibing right now. Wouldn't mind seeing Daredevil again. A woman has needs.
A woman has needs.
And that whole section at the end where he was at the family barbecue. Oh my god. Also, wait, Matt, was that not a Fast and Furious family barbecue at the end? I was cracking up.
It was so a Fast and Furious family barbecue.
Like they just didn't have Corona, but like everything else was there.
Yeah, this is 2022. Most people are vaccinated. Sorry, terrible joke.
Too soon.
Yeah, honestly, too soon.
Too soon. You got sucked into another show, didn't you? Like that, Emil accusing Wong of being sucked into another show.
What was difficult about that, though? Difficult about that is that I was, when he first said that, I was thinking, Emil's got he's got the fourth wall break too. He means that Wong got taken to another property and had to do things there and then come back. And I was like, no, it's that he was watching The Sopranos.
The show had been so meta up till then. I was like, wait, which way does he mean? He got sucked into whatever. Was he in Armor Wars?
Yeah, honestly, that took me for a loop too. I was like, wait, what other show? And then I was like, oh no, they did that whole Sopranos bit earlier, and that's definitely what they're talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, like Wong specifically said, like, we're in the age of peak TV. And I was like, yes, we are. Wait, is he talking about this show?
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
Camartage forever.
This just ended on such a high note. I'm so pleased with it.
Me too. 100%. I can't wait to hear what everybody else out there has to say about it. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun few weeks. We got a lot of things coming up. I'm sure we'll do lots of episodes about this and about what's coming with Black Panther. And we've got some other things we've got planned. So probably try to do some commissioned episodes because we actually have weeks off now. I didn't realize we were going to have so many weeks off. It's like 3 or 4 full weeks.
4.
Crazy.
Well, 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
In 4 weeks is when Black Panther comes out.
Yeah. Oh. I like that we finally got a kind of resolution for what her plot was supposed to be. And I think we've been sort of thinking a lot about like what She-Hulk meant and what Jen meant and like what those things all, like what are the allegories for. But it really just came down to her figuring out. She says, my life fell apart right as I was learning to be both Jen and She-Hulk.
Yep.
And that's my story. Like, I like that, like, this story has been a little convoluted, trying to figure out what it means. It's like, is she being used for She-Hulk, or is it something she should embrace? Is it, and then it's just like, she just gets to say it. She just, like, at the end, she's like, yeah, that's what my story is.
Yeah.
It's
So this
so
other crap is
sweet.
distracting from that.
Yeah.
And I love that it ended at, the whole, like, family picnic or whatever with Matt being there, and Matt's the one who like finally got her to realize that you can do both.
Yep.
And then like she talked to the reporter that was like, does that mean that do you mean as a lawyer and or She-Hulk? And she's like, both. Coming for you. Coming for your ass.
Yep. I love it.
And who are you wearing to court today?
The difficult diva of law herself.
That was so funny.
So good. It's a very small thing, but Hulk meeting Daredevil was just kind of exciting for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like your family.
The team up we never knew we needed. It didn't get, but they were on screen together for a second.
I want to know what Hulk, like, what he looks like in Matt Murdock's World on Fire view. Like, what does Hulk look like? Like raging fire.
I was wondering how Hulk perceived all that for sure. Like, oh, that's not just a person. A Hulk just walked up. I hear a very big heartbeat.
Yeah, I feel the ground shaking as 2 very large things are walking over here.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that Titania saw Daredevil and was like, hi, Daredevil.
And he does the little salute, like, hello there.
So funny.
So good. Okay. I'm just going down a list of things now at this point. I loved this episode. I think it is
So much.
One of the best endings of a show. I don't know that this is my favorite MCU show, Disney Plus shows yet, but it is like, it ended so strong that like it brings it way up the list for me just by the virtue of how it ended so well.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely got one of the best endings of all of them, like with the ending for Loki being also very, very much right up there.
Totally agree.
I was going to say, I think Loki is probably the only one that I think has like a comparably satisfying and exciting ending to this one. So many of them I've loved, like pretty much up until the ending, and that's really just when it kind of missed for me. This one kind of, I feel like the first episode was incredibly strong. I think it did stumble for a couple episodes after that, but these last like 4 in a row now have just been spectacular.
Yeah.
Well,
time to go watch it all again.
Yeah.
Well, I was literally
Start at the
thinking
beginning.
about, like, I actually haven't rewatched any of the Disney Plus shows yet. I watched them all when they came out, and I haven't actually gone back and like revisited any of them. But now I have a month off. So why am I going to do homework? I got to rewatch all the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah. No time for homework, Dr. Jones.
Go watch WandaVision again and like marvel at how much you thought that you knew about what was going on and how much you missed. because you'll spot things that are like, oh my God, how did I not see? How did I not see all those?
That was such a special time because we had that was a full year without content, right?
A year without content, and then they give us that.
Oh my God. And then that talk about the week by week speculation, that show was perfect for that after such a long time without it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I am going to go do some rewatching. Can we wrap this up, boys? I got to start wanting
We got to do it. We got to do it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back very soon. Catherine Ray, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you all of these weeks. Thank you for being here. You've made it quite a fun experience. Thank you for doing it.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure getting to talk to you both about this, and I hope to be back for something in the future.
Yeah, you are welcome anytime, my friend. Anytime.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll be back soon, guys. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Captain America, fuck!
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.